I'm delighted to say in the studio with me now, the wonderful Annie Lennox.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Oh.
And you're looking so bright and cheery and alive this morning.
Thank you. Well, it's a glorious day outside, and that's something to be celebrated, don't you think?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
We don't get them all the time, but we're enjoying a small Indian summer.
That's it.
At present.
Yes.
So you've been kind enough to bring your new single into us.
Oh, well, you've been kind enough to receive it graciously.
It was like the handing over of ambassadorial letters, the chain of office.
I'm very delighted that you think it's worthy of your playing list.
You brought it in the plush cushion and I accepted it, and there, it's gone into our machine, ready to play. But tell me what you've been doing for the last little while. What's been going on?
Well, about a year or so ago, I had a penchant, which was that I really have never sung in the kind of classic jazz genre. It was something I thought might be fun to explore, and especially as I'm getting long in the tooth these days, Ken, it's one of those things you think you have to do it really quick, have to do it now or never. So I started looking into songs from the 30s, from the classic American songbook, and discovering some real treasures. And basically I just kind of transcribed them from YouTube, actually, because, although I'm a Luddite, I'm also someone who does refer to the internet
You're
occasionally.
abreast of the new technology.
Yes, I am, yes. And there's a fantastic archive of all the wonderful songs and the performers. It's all there. So basically, I just spent some time very quietly transcribing the songs and just seeing whether my voice would suit them, and making a selection. And then I started working earlier in the year recording them this year. And now it's coming out on the 27th of October, actually.
It's ready to
for
go.
My sins. It's an album called Nostalgia. It's 12 classic songs.
So, just taking it back a little bit, had you done any of this kind of stuff at some point in your past?
Only once. Back in the 80s, there was a wonderful sort of charitable record called Red, Hot and Blue, and that project was for HIV and AIDS, and we all did different cover versions of Cole Porter songs, and I did a version of Every Time We Say Goodbye.
Beautiful song.
And but that really probably is the only time I've ever really recorded in something that's other than Eurythmics or my own solo work.
So was there any point more recently when you got round to this idea, that the spark that gave you this idea, was there a turning point, or was it just something that's been gnawing away at the back of your mind?
Well, actually, over 2 years ago, I was in Washington, D.C., and I was working at the Global AIDS Conference, and there was a concert there that was held for UNAIDS, and I was asked if I would perform with Herbie Hancock, which was just fantastic. And I was rehearsing with his band, and we were just having fun. And because they are supremely gifted jazz musicians, I was kind of like joining in. And I think the idea occurred to me on one of those rehearsals that, there's something in my voice that I kind of wanted to explore. And I thought, well, if it's good enough, if I really feel that I identify with this, then, maybe I can record something. And so I'm just doing it for the love of it, doing it for the joy of it. But I think the thing that I discovered that really drew me in is that a lot of these wonderful jazz songs have got the blues bass, the roots to them. And I've always been very influenced by R&B and soul music, and of course, and blues, which is just from the deep south. And I think that is the sort of almost like the cradle of greatness, where music emerges from. All rock and roll, everything is from blues. Yeah,
that is the basis, isn't it? It's the core material.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how did you make you watched all these videos on YouTube and things like that. How did you make the cut? How did you decide which songs were going to be the ones that you did?
Well, I work very intuitively. It's just basically I can tell whether a song suits my voice or not. You just have to be drawn to them. And the lyrics of some of these songs are so powerful. And although they were written back in the 30s, they're still, you look at a song like Strange Fruit, classic, extraordinary song, sort of breathtaking,
powerful song,
powerful, and or let's say The Nearness of You, very, very romantic. There's a whole sort of gamut, if you like, of a spectrum of emotion, human emotion, that is just so interesting. It's so rich, and for a singer, as I am, to have a chance to use my voice and use my sort of interpretational skills for whatever they are, but just to explore those songs, was like a little journey for me.
Was there something special going on at that time? Because these were songs mostly that were written by songwriters rather than performers, and they were almost like poets in many ways.
Yes,
but they were working in song. Was that a special time? Because we don't really have that kind of person now.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting because we live in times now that are so accelerated and everything changes, and as soon as we have a new piece of technology, everybody follows suit, and it's like everything else is made redundant. And I suppose at my time of life, when I've seen so many things change, there's a part of me that kind of wants things to slow down a little bit. I can't help but be somewhat nostalgic in myself, looking back at when things were maybe a little bit simpler, you know. And certainly we used to listen to the lyrics of songs a great deal, and they meant a great deal to us. We used to learn the lyrics of songs. When I say we, I'm talking about my own generation, and then I guess my parents and my grandparents' generation. I think people got a lot from popular music. It was soothing to them. It was inspiring to them. It made life go along that little bit more smoothly. And
probably you didn't hear as much as you do now.
Definitely not.
You focused more on what you did hear.
Absolutely. I mean, music is everywhere you go. I mean, you step into a taxi, you go into a restaurant, in the street, you go into shops, and they're playing music. It's very ubiquitous, and I think that's fine. But sometimes it's a little bit like. Sometimes we need to have special moments, you know, and we certainly do, because I know people play music for christenings and celebrations, and music and songs mean a lot to people, and they you know, particularly like when people get married, let's say, or they break up, and then there's be a significant song that kind of they live with that, and it has sentimental value, you know.
Well, there's probably plenty on here you could choose for your wedding, funeral.
You can play them at all occasions, ladies and gentlemen.
Bar mitzvahs, anything like that. Summertime from Porgy and Bess, beautiful song. You know, you've got Georgia on My Mind on there. And Mood Indigo, the Duke Ellington thing, that's a great piece of music. It's fantastic.
I would say for me, the fun and the real enjoyment was basically trying to get a version of the songs that was unique to my own style, if you like. Because I think it would have been easy just to hire not so easy to hire an orchestra, but nevertheless, you know, just go about it in a very conventional way. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to strip these songs down to the essential roots and build them up from there. And that's basically what I did. I just started with my voice and a keyboard and got it down to the nub, if you like. And that was just a joy, because all these songs I discovered are just so powerful and they're by their own merit.
Yeah. And there's a simplicity. A good song will work when it's brought down to its core, won't it?
Absolutely. And also, you know, a great song will last all of time. It will always last. It won't just be something that's here today and gone tomorrow.
So tell me about the single. What's the single? The first single from the album to be?
Yeah, well, it's my version of I Put a Spell on You, the original version written and recorded by Screaming Jay Hawkins back in the 50s, actually. And the great story about that is that when the band went in to record it, I don't know if you know this story.
No.
Well, it's really, really good. They all got completely plastered in the studio and so drunk that... You know, they couldn't really basically remember what they'd done the next day, and they kind of went in and it was just a complete cacophony, and the record company were absolutely, mildly outraged, I think, and they said, well, you have to re-record it, and you have to take all the expletives and all the extremities out. But I think what we got in the end was a slightly watered-down version, if you can believe that, right, of Screaming Jay Hawkins' original I Put a Spell on You, which is just phenomenal. It's a rip-roaring song.
But you haven't... There was no such nonsense going on in this recording.
Oh, no such nonsense in the studio with me. No. It's a strictly teetotal. And but you know, that's the beauty of being a musician and having the possibility, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity still to record. You know, that's my joy, being in the studio. That's where I'm really happy, and to have a chance to go in and to the studio and record an interpretative version of a song that you love that's just fantastic.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, before we play it, just tell me, what's the next plan? We love you being in the studio, but we want to see you out there doing stuff.
I'm just waiting to see what happens. I'm very reticent to think too far ahead. At the moment, the album's coming out. I'm really excited about that. That's lovely. I want to see if other people like it or not, because they may love it, they may hate it. Who knows? But I'm happy because I've done it now and I'm thrilled to bits.
Right. Well, Nostalgia is the album. We're just going to play the single from it. We hope they love it and we hope it puts you back on stage before too long.
Thank you.
Annie, great to see you. Thanks
Lovely.
for coming in.
Thank you, Ken.
And here is the single.